Hello, all. My name is Randy Johnson, and this is my Chapter 13 summary and reflection of the theory and practice of online learning. This chapter's title is The Quality Dilemma in Online Education Revisited. This chapter talks about the challenges that educational institutions and governing agencies are having with identifying measures to guide the development and support of online education. This chapter explores four countries that could be considered leaders in the development of online education and how they set benchmarks for quality. The author also identified these three criterions as basic level similarities among the differing quality assurance methods that these four countries use. The author recognizes that the influence of common outside factors like funding and the international market or competitors and rogue operators when it comes to the decision making process influences how online education is looked at and how it's evaluated. In an effort to improve the quality of online education in institutions of higher learning, organizations have been attempting to measure it. Some organizations have implemented a business model for consumer quality. For example, the chapter reads that the International Standards Organization makes clear the central principle of the pursuit of quality to establish processes that will maximize service to customers. Criticism of this model include the idea of mass producing a standard product. I can understand why one would turn to a business model for a solution. However, even in business, there is no homogeneous solution for a heterogeneous population. Others in higher learning recognize the traditional measures that were used to identify quality in education. Again, external issues like fiscal responsibility, funding, diversity, and politics have challenged the currency of traditional models. Things like seat time no longer apply because the students are at a distance. And then with seat time not applying, the passive lecture situations are not feasible for online learning. They don't support the student's learning and they don't engage the student. The author acknowledges multiple statements that highlight the shift in the paradigm of higher learning. He also recognizes that online education is responsible for this shift to some degree. How much is debatable? Um, the chapter reads that the student's ability to engage in an environment that integrates collaboration, communication, and engaging content with specific group and independent learning activities and tasks is very different even from some of the methods that are used in higher learning for face-to-face interactions. I think the points made here are valid because they highlight examples of course designs in higher learning that go directly against what we have already identified to be effective in all learning: information in relation to meaningful interactions. We have to identify a measurement for mastery of skill that is different from the traditional and effective in online learning environments. So the author looks at these four jurisdictions in the book. Australia, England, Canada, and the United States have all made some effort to outline quality standards for online education. The guidelines established by the Australian Universities Quality Agency attempt to measure the quality of all university courses developed by analyzing the equity of access, cost effectiveness, the quality of the course, the impact on learner outcomes, and the impact on academic work. The UK's Quality Assurance Agency for Higher Learning has produced features of academic review. These features are largely learner centered with orders for self evaluation and judgments made based on the evidence. The more extensive distant education standards are still learner centered and largely focused on learner outcomes, resources, and support for the learners. The Canadian approach extensively looks into the development, management, and the marketing of the course. While the student is still the focus, the standards are similar to the business model when regarding them as the consumers of a product. In the US, there is a commitment for the evaluation of electronically offered degree and certificate programs. This commitment outlines a number of values that support the development of a learning environment. The institution is responsible for meeting these certain benchmarks. A combination of these and some best practices are often used to govern programs. The author points out that the U.S. promotes the importance of encouraging learners to take some responsibility in their own learning. In conclusion, this chapter really points out the effort that is being put forth to identify benchmarks for quality online education that would benefit not only the learner, but the educational community and educational institutions. There must be an institutional commitment to the support of the development of quality online instruction. With the shift in learning paradigms and the expectations of new learners to be just as engaged in their learning as they are in acquiring other knowledge, I believe institutions that don't invest time, resources, and support into this endeavor are only limiting themselves.